Hello, everybody. We are back today talking about our goals. And as you can see by the title, we're specifically talking about how we know we're not ready to quit on our goals. And I have some specific examples here, some things that you can kind of use as markers for how you're feeling yourself as you're navigating through your goals, as you're going through this process of maybe starting something new and going for it. And maybe you've had some hiccups and some challenges along the way. I completely understand how that is. You're going back and forth between, do I do it? Do I quit? I really don't feel confident about it, but I kind of still want to do this. This video is for you. My name is Stephanie, and I am embarking on creating the Busy Dreamer business, and this is going to have some products involved, maybe a course, a little bit of a tease here, but I'm going through this process, and I haven't gone through this at this level before. I have some books that I've written and have had some launches with that, but this changing the channel name and going for like something to offer people as far as like helping you with your goals and your dreams, this is all completely new. So I definitely am there with you if you're going through your own goals and dreams. The first piece of advice I have here, if you're thinking of quitting, or maybe you've started on a goal and you did quit and you have that kind of empty feeling. So I want you to really settle into your feelings and what's happening inside because maybe you've quit and you're thinking, oh, well, I kind of thought I would feel relieved by this, but really I kind of feel empty, maybe a little bit disappointed. I have had this experience recently because here I was going for this new kind of thing for me. I'm taking you along with me, but I haven't revealed everything that I'm working on, but it was getting to be like, it started out this idea and then it got bigger and bigger with all of these ideas that I was kind of trying to do all at once. And it got to be too much. It got to be too heavy. And I almost quit. I almost just completely gave up. One night I was like, I'm done. I can't do this. It's too much. It's taking away from the family. It's going to be a little bit too much of a startup cost that I'm comfortable with. And almost immediately or the next night, I had this disappointed feeling, this empty feeling. I didn't have anything to work on in my spare time. I had maybe an hour that night and I was like, well, I guess I can clean, and that cleaning is always there. So when I do work on my things, it's like, well, while I'm making dinner, let me fold some laundry and that sort of thing. I can always kind of fit it in. But this was just some time that I had, and I felt totally empty, like I needed that drive. And even though there were some challenges and things that I was having to work with starting this up, it was fulfilling and it was bringing me a lot of joy. And I didn't have that in that moment. So if you have that empty feeling, kind of hone into that and listen to it, because that's one reason why you should keep going forward. In other words, coming to number 2, the thought of quitting is worse than the challenges that you're having to overcome. These challenges are there for a reason. They're there to help you learn. They're there to help you, give you like that well-rounded view of whatever you're starting, whatever you're doing. Things aren't usually just inherently easy. We usually have these challenges because we are stepping out of our comfort zone. We're going for that something that is in the unknown and it's new. Anytime anything is new, I tell my kids this, anytime anything is new, it's going to be a little bit hard. We didn't come into this world knowing math. We didn't know how to spell everything. All of that is a challenge and we have to overcome it. So if you're thinking that these challenges, okay, they're here and I can deal with those, and the thought of actually not having those anymore and quitting is worse, then keep going. Number 3, if you keep thinking about this thing that you're working on, and let's say you did quit and you're like, well, I can't get it out of my mind. It's nagging at me. I'm still having this pull towards it. That is just such a sure sign that you need to keep going. And then number 4, you keep thinking of the what if. So you're not only thinking about it, but you kind of, let's say you've quit something and you kind of already have regret. And you're like, but what if that YouTube channel took off? What if I got a book deal? Or what if I ran that mile and now I want to do a 5K race? You have that drive still to keep going. And I want you to listen to that because that's you wanting to do it, even if it is hard. Like I said, that stretches us and just only makes us grow. If you still have that pull to do this and your answer is, I want to do that, that is such a vote of confidence for you to move forward. So I know I'm talking about challenges and it being hard. I don't want you to be afraid of that. I want you to really embrace that. And one piece of advice I have to get through that is to slow down. You don't have to probably, I don't know what you're going through. Let me know down below. But for my situation, I told myself, I don't have to get this done next month or by the end of the year even. This is something that I'm doing and I want to have this quality. And in order for it to be up to that notch of quality, I needed to slow down and tell myself, push through at like kind of this bulldozer speed, right? They're not a race car or anything. They go slow, but they push through and get to the end in a way that for me, I wanted that quality there. And slowing down was actually the answer that I needed. It was literally the one thing that I needed to come up with in order to not quit and to not put that pressure on myself to try and spend every minute of the day that I had free on this and to put things aside and to say no to things because I have to do this or to feel guilty when I'm not doing it. So slowing down is kind of the key sometimes. The last thing is if you're honing into those feelings and you genuinely, they both would kind of work here, but you genuinely don't feel like you're done yet. You're writing a book and you're like, well, obviously I'm not done because I didn't get to the end of the book. Or you're doing this big goal and you feel like you still have more to give to it. I might even be saying the same things here in this video like 8 different times, but it might strike you differently because you might say, yep, that's the one thing that I felt when I was going for my goal and I've kind of just let it peter out. Life happened. Maybe you didn't really quit, but just you don't have as much time as you had before. I'm just saying that if you generally have that feeling of it's not done, you still have that spark inside of you. You still have that energy to give towards it. And I'm just kind of urging you to not be like all hustly towards it, but don't give up on it. A lot of the times we give up on something because we have that fear of the unknown. Well, what if I put all of this time into it and nothing happens and I'm putting some money into it and I don't make it back or I don't get that following or nobody reads my book? You're never going to know. And furthermore, you have that kind of that idea to do this thing for a reason, to go through that experience, whether it turns out the way that you want to on the other side isn't up to you. And we can't let that unknown stop us because for one thing is for sure, you're not ever going to know what's going to happen if you don't finish. You can't say, yeah, I wasn't going to get any sales anyway, or wasn't going to grow that community anyway. If you don't go forward, you can't say that for 100% of the time. Last piece of advice that I have is to not make any rash decisions when you're stressed, when you're tired, or when you feel overwhelmed, or when you have any of those challenges that are coming up. I have so many challenges, and I know there was one night I had a lot of challenges and I was really tired. It was like 2 a.m. and I kept getting plagued with these ideas of quitting. Just, you need to stop, you need to quit, you need to turn that off and unplug everything, whatever, shut everything down and just stop. And I almost listened to it. And it was by the light of the day that just shed this new hope on my goal. Like, I don't know if you're like that. In the morning, I'm like, yes, let's go get it. And by the time the nighttime comes, like my energy goes down. And that is not the time to make decisions. If you have had that idea to go for something, just make sure that you're fresh and you're ready for it, and that you don't have to give it your 120% of yourself. You can just chip away at it a little bit at a time, make it go slow, and really just tune into how you feel about it. If you're enjoying the process, then I'm just here to encourage you to keep going towards it. I hope you stay here. I hope you subscribe and you let me know what you're working on, because this is what we're talking about. And I'm leading by example with starting this business. And I'm excited to show you what I'm working on in the upcoming videos. I'll see you next time. Bye.